So today we are talking about accounting, or a couple of different topics on accounting, because accounting is such a large topic. Financing fees. There's a couple different ways that you can account for financing fees. The big thing is that you do not want to show your financing fee to the client that you are charged. I have seen where, when people are loading the payment that they receive from Synchrony or whatever it is the loan amount minus the financing fee so that they can reconcile their deposit. Or they have two separate payment types, or they actually load the financing fee as a line item on the customer invoice. You could potentially lose your contracts with your financers if you do that. So there are several ways to go about actually accounting for it in the back end. I have a way to do it in Service Titan so that, again, your reports are correct. This is the way that I suggest. This is also the way that Service Titan suggests that you do it. I'm going to walk us through that workflow, and I'm actually going to do this setup for us. But there are a few things that you need to set up. So the first of which is that we need a customer created for your financing company. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to say financing company. You can actually put the address of your financing company. You can put the address of your company. It doesn't really matter what you put in here for your address. Contact not provided, contact not provided. Doesn't really matter here. This is literally just going to be a holding customer. The second thing that you need to have turned on is if you come to, I think it's configurable billing, we need to have multi-party billing available. What this allows us to do is it allows us to have an adjustment invoice that is billable to a different person than where the work was done or who was paying for the original work. So you do need to have multi-party billing enabled. In your price book, you do need to have a financing fee service, not taxable, that goes to an expense account. Ideally, you would have like a merchant fees or something like that. I'm just going to choose my discount because I don't have a merchant fee one set up. So you do need that. And then you also need a payment type, which is, we're just going to say financing fee, which exports as a journal entry, but it also exports to your undeposited funds account. Okay, you can hide that from mobile. Okay, those are the different items that you need in order for this to work. So if I come here and let's look up Kimron again here, and Kimron doesn't pay her bills. I don't care what type of job I'm doing here, but I just want to pretend that we are, have some sort of work on this invoice that's going to require financing. So let's put a T in here. That's going to give me something. Looks good. Let's make this for $10,000. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got the right number of zeros in here. Okay. So Kimron is getting work done that is $10,000 worth of work. Now, I am not getting $10,000 from my financing company. They are going to take fees. I'm going to use nice even numbers, and we are going to say that my fee is $1,000. The fee that I'm paying is $1,000. So what I would do here is I would add my financing fee of $1,000. Okay, and let me do a quick little refresh here. Did I not click save when I turned on the multi-party billing? No, there it is. Okay, I just need to do a refresh. And now
How did you add the financing fee?
I added the financing fee directly onto Kimron's invoice for right now. Okay.
Oh, that's just a line item?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Going to my, ideally this would be going to like a merchant fees expense account.
Okay.
Okay. What I would then do, you can see I have these little buttons that are here. Okay. I would take this financing fee, move my invoice item to a new invoice item, and it is billable to your financing company. Okay. Move that item. Okay. So I now have my adjustment invoice down here for negative 1,000. Okay. When I get my payments, all right, we're going to say, hey, we're going to pretend that this e-check is my financing, my financing loan. We're just going to pretend that I don't have I should have set financing payment. The person, Kimron took out a loan for $10,000. Okay. I want to show that. Okay. So Kimron's invoice right now. Okay. If I print this invoice, all Kimron's invoice is going to show is that $10,000 line item, and it's showing that there was a payment of $10,000 made. Okay. Coming back over here, I now have this adjustment invoice that is billable to my financing company for negative $1,000. If I add my payment in here of my negative $1,000 as my financing fee, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right. So now this invoice, if I print this adjustment invoice, again, it's never going to actually get sent to anyone. Okay. All it has on here is my financing fee for $1,000, negative $1,000 that I've collected. If I look at my accounting screen and I look at my payments, okay, let's look at my customer payments. Okay, here's my two payments. Okay, my $10,000 loan, my $1,000 not merchant fee. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna, financing deposit. Let's create my deposit. It's hitting my bank account. It's depositing on 9/19. Let's put it, it's depositing tomorrow. Okay. I'll create a batch for these two items. Okay. And when I send over batch 3709, it's going to be for the $9,000 that actually hit my account. Okay. There's my undeposited funds of $9,000 so I can reconcile my deposit. When I send over that invoice that is to Synchrony or to my financing company that has negative $1,000, you are going to show a $1,000 expense in your merchant fee expense account. Okay. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Tell me if it's wrong to do it this way or what the advantages of doing it your way. So in other words, we don't do anything in Service Titan like that. We just have the invoice. And then when it goes over to QuickBooks Online, that's where I add the financing fee and it makes the deposit be what it should be then.
Yeah, that's totally a doable option. It just means that if you are running any type of expense reports out of Service Titan, it's not going to be accurate because you're not accounting for those merchant fees.
Right.
So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, if you ever have any intention of going over to touchless, this is going to be your way to go. Otherwise, you're going to have to do like a month-end journal entry adjustment just to account for those financing fees. I don't know if you're on desktop or if you're on quick or online or what you're on, but this is the recommended way. That way, all of your expense reports, all of your documentation that is in Service Titan is going to reflect everything. On top of it, your costing is going to be correct. So if you're doing job costing on this $10,000 job, it's showing that there was $1,000 worth of expenses out of this job because it was a finance job.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you learned something with me today. If you have any questions, my email is just kim@titanadvisinggurus.com. Be happy to answer anything if anything comes up. And here are those QR codes if you are interested in leaving us a review or scheduling your own discovery call. So I hope you have a great day and have an enjoyable Friday and a fun weekend ahead.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.